Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Mr. Sids and welcome to another video of another Cyberpunk Red one-shot. This time we're going to be talking about Homecoming. I know I'm a little late, probably more than a month late, but better late than never, right? So today we're going to be talking about the one-shot that I created. I'm going to have the PDF in front of me, so I'm going to be looking up and down, just like last time if you saw my last video, Special Delivery. So just to get right into it, I just wanted to announce a few things. Number one, you're going to find the one-shot on the description below if you want to download it for free. And you're going to see my link to the website, polospr.com, where you can find other resources and other announcements of projects that I'm working on, including Crime City, which will be in drive-through soon. I don't know when, but it's coming soon. So just keep in mind, have your eyes peeled and wait for the best. Okay, so now diving into the one-shot, Homecoming. So I'm gonna be looking through my PDF, just like any other one-shot. There's like a brief introduction on how to read through the adventure and the document, and that will be the word to the GM. So there you can find bullet points and information that you'll find throughout the document. And also a small section regarding to artists and players that are interested in providing their artwork or other creations. So now we'll be diving into the synopsis or overview of the venture. Essentially, the adventure entails of the PCs getting in contact with either the Lawmen or their fixer. Either or, they'll be telling them that there's an issue occurring in the Upper Marina near a small warehouse. Now the issue is there's a rogue drone shooting innocent people, including the Lawmen. So this rogue drone seems very particular and unique compared to other drones in Cyberpunk Red. This drone is an old drone made before the Fourth Corporate War and is an SPI, which essentially is an AI created by Arasaka, taking from other people's consciousness or souls, I guess you could say. So basically, this drone has been shooting other people and also screaming or yelling, "Be careful, please help," in an endless loop before them. In this adventure, they have the option to meet Odessa Foxwell, which is a renowned tech for drones in the area. She'll be able to help the PCs to recharge the drone and perhaps get more info about the drone. Sooner or later, once they interact with Foxwell, Scads will be on the tail behind the PCs and the drone. So they'll be wanting to retrieve the drone back for themselves. The reason why, I guess we'll find out later. So the drone, or aka Athena, will be communicating with the players throughout the adventure. And at one point, Athena will be communicating and telling the PCs that for them to require their reward, they must go to Japantown and go meet the drone's creator. Once they get to Japantown, it looks like they have gone to Tiger Claw territory. Inside an apartment building, they find Athena's creator. But once we dive into the adventure, we'll see more and more detail on what it holds, the story behind it. So on that first page of the synopsis and background, you see different interests that you can bring in the players to incorporate their background into the story. Let's jump right into chapter 1, where they'll interact with the Lawmen and the drone. So basically, they'll jump right into the combat with the Lawmen alongside them, attacking the drone. So there's different options that you can neutralize the drone. On page 5, you can see there's a few bullet points where I mentioned that you can either hack the drone, you could disconnect the drone from inside the warehouse, you could breach into the server inside the warehouse that connects the drone, or you can just neutralize it with firepower or any type of explosives that you have. And then on the same page, I added net running grid that you can use to hack into the drone. And also I give other net running grids that you can use to hack into the server. And then the following page, on page 6, you can see different bullet points on Athena's behavior, which is the drone that the players will be neutralizing, and as well different areas that you can find inside the warehouse. On that same page, page 6, you can see what Athena is holding as a drone herself. For example, she's carrying a titanium base plate, top of the line boardware, custom cyber deck, and once they start interacting with Athena, they'll notice that they're interacting with an AI. So continue on with chapter 2, page 7. Here the PCs will be on their way towards meeting Odessa Foxwell. In this case, if the PCs decide to go to their own apartment or have their own tech or fixer that could help them, they could obviously go ahead and do that. But I added here an additional character that can meet, and that is Odessa Foxwell. And then on page 8, there's more information on Odessa Foxwell herself, and then a brief description on reaching Foxwell's shop. And here I also added additional information on charging Athena. She'll end up talking to the PCs, and she'll be interested in acquiring Athena for herself. So she'll then convince the players to buy the drone from them around 9,000 to 10,000 EB. Obviously, the PCs do not have to do this, but they have the option to do so if they're greedy enough. At the end of the day, the scabs will be going into their tail and start attacking the PCs and Foxwell and Foxwell's shop. So on page 9, you'll see different encounters for different amounts, different numbers of players. So if there's 3 players, then you'll have 4 NPCs. If you have 5 players, then you have 6 NPCs. And there's different NPCs that you could use through the adventure or the encounter. So now continue on with chapter 3 and page 10. This is where the PCs will end up in Japantown. So depending on how the PCs end up in Japantown, whether they're in a car chase with the scavs or they ended up neutralizing the scavs and they head over there from Athena's text messages or her own voice, they'll end up in Japantown to acquire their reward. So here in Japantown, as I mentioned before, they're going to be in Tiger Claw territory. So when they arrive, they're going to see 3 Tiger Claw gangers waiting in front of the apartment building. Going through the building, they'll mention that that the players are in the vicinity, and they're going to be taking them to Imamura, which we'll learn a little bit more later on. The building itself is called the Condominium Toranoko, and that's mentioned in page 11. So when they arrive to the apartment where Athena mentioned the players where they'll meet their creator, they end up meeting 2 people inside the room. One of them is Imamura, just like one of the Tiger Claw gangers mentioned. And another one is an older looking male that's sitting next to a net running chair. Throughout the conversation between Imamura and what is later known as Quil, they'll be discussing what were their plans and what were their intentions behind retrieving the drone. As the encounter goes through, or the conversations goes through, we learned that Quil was unaware of Imamura's plan in retrieving Athena for herself or for Arasaka. At the end of the day, Quil is essentially a double agent working for Militech and has been working for Imamura for some time to gain information, under the table for Militech. But the twist is that Quil is really the creator of Athena, but is also Athena's wife. Quil intentionally put Athena's SPI into a drone that someone else created. Later on in the adventure, in page 12, we'll see that Quil and Imamura goes into a confrontation and has split the party into different decisions. So the players can decide to go with Hisako and gain rewards that she provided, or go with Quil and escape from Arasaka and the Tiger Claws and go on their way with Quil if they survive. So here on page 12 is pretty much split in two columns, where you have the path with Hisako or Imamura, or the side with Quil, or they'll end up escaping the building. So now going to page 13, where I mention what each floor has in the condominium. So instead of going along with the encounter and see what different options come up, I just decided to add what each floor has, so the players have an idea of what they encounter throughout either the escape or the attack against Quil and Athena, and so forth. And also, if they wanted to hack the condominium or the building itself, then I added a net rating grid where players can hack into the ground floor and gain access to different doors, lighting, network, and so on. And then at the end of page 13, if the players do decide to escape with Quil, essentially Quil, like I mentioned, is a double agent working with Militech, and the pilot that's driving the AV that came to rescue the players and Quil is also part of Militech, and Quil will be rewarding the PCs on the spot, a few thousand EB, and some access to different services that they provide. So just to talk a little bit more about Imamura, basically she's a secret agent working for Arasaka, and her job is to obtain all lost drones and tech that they lost in the Fourth Corporate War. So essentially Athena is one of the last pieces of tech or drones that they needed to retrieve, and they finally found her after several years. Quil was working for Imamura for some time. They weren't aware about their plan in retrieving lost tech or drones from the Fourth Corporate War, but Quil and Militech wanted to gain information because they had rumors that Arasaka was returning back to Night City after so many years. And to delve into a little bit more about the relationship between Athena and Quil, Quil's wife, which is Athena, was working in Arasaka for so many years back then. Something happened between her and Arasaka that they decided to have Athena turn into an SPI. And when Quil found out that what they did to his wife in Arasaka, both Athena and Quil were working hard towards going back together once again, and that's the reason why that Quil started working for Militech, so they can get into Arasaka and gain information about Athena. So after page 13, I provide a few battle maps that you can use, including the apartment, the condominium, and the Scavs warehouse in chapter 1. You can use any maps that you want. You don't have to use these maps. These are just alternatives that you can use in your sessions. And then, of course, after that, I added vehicle stat cards if you decide to go into a car chase with the Scavs or Lawmen, or even with the AV that Imamura decided to escape with. And then after that, I added some NPC stat cards that are a little bit more fleshed out. So here I added cybernetics and items for the more prominent NPCs that carry additional items, or even net running programs such as Quil. And then as a little bonus, I added a custom weapon stack card, Shoku, that the players will gain from Imamura if they decide to go with her. And of course, the credits, I just want to thank once again Solution Maps for the warehouse map that he provided, and as well as Oni for providing the condominium map. If you want to check them out, I added the links on their pages, and if you're curious to find their maps to download, then you can go into their respective profiles. And that's about it. So pretty close. I'm pretty sure I'm under 12 or 15 minutes, I hope. But I just wanted to thank everybody that checked out Special Delivery. I appreciate all the feedback and comments that you guys left. I do appreciate it so much. And also with the project that I'm working on with Crime City, without any of the feedback and comments that you guys have provided, I don't think I'll be doing this. So I'll probably give another update once Crime City releases. And until then, we'll talk again. Thanks.